Are we back? Okay, just restarted and it seems to be fine. So you've been missing my typing of the brain dump, but I hope you heard the voiceover and then the roadmap. So we want to replace this packer, and I'm wondering how to lay out the windows currently, because this is gonna be too many windows and I don't want to overload. So let's create one more window. Mm, I'm gonna close I'm gonna switch this to the actually to the experimental directory. Um, yeah, so this is experimental and this is fish. Actually, we have fish open here, so this this here is new and this is old, and I'm just gonna close all of this for the moment, and then I'm gonna reopen what I just did. So we have this pack script, and let's start here. Actually, I want to replace this probably at this level, but at least at this level. So this is the Ruby file. So let's say I want to have a okay. That we're in the experience directory and switching back and forth between thinking and explaining to you, but let's hope for the best. We gonna do this is our first experiment. So I want a subdirectory here. So we're gonna go here, and actually this was the original file. So what I actually want is some kind of OMT packer, and for now it's just, yeah, it should be like this, but right now let's do it like this, and it gets the same parameters. So data, which is the working directory, then what file it is supposed to create. So let's just say base.omar, and then add data/data.packlist. So if this works, and I'm not sure why it's not remembering the path, but so if this works and produces the same output as this, then we're golden, right? So I'm going to do something here. I'm going to create some test data and basically have a test data 1.txt, 222.txt. You'll see where this goes in a minute. 3334444, right? And then I'm gonna just open the 1.t, put 1 in there, open the 22, put 2 2s, open the 333, put 3 3s, just to have some test data, put 4 4s. So actually for the test, what we're gonna do is we have a test data. Test data is our, and this is test 1 2 3 4. And it will be driven by test data 1 2 2 3 3 4 4 4 4 pack list, right? So let's create this file, and a pack list is basically just a text file that says these are the files I want in the pack file in this order. right? So in theory, if you run, and this has to be, I'm going to make this window a bit smaller. So we're going to cheat here a bit because we're going to run Ruby and say, okay, we know we have Fiish here, and Fiish has the tools matpack, and we have the test data is our working directory. We want as an output test data test 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4 dot omar, and our pack list is test data pack list, right? So we can do a hex dump on test data test 1, 2, 3, 4 Omar, and you see it has the header magic and then some other stuff, but you also see at the end it just has the files. So the oh, sorry, didn't mean to paste that. So the 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, and that is our reference, right? So I want to just so we don't forget it. So we have test data. And this is our expected result, right? So if by the end of today we have a Ruby script that creates a file that's binary compatible with this, we're golden, right? Right. So I'm just gonna copy this, and so if this this is true, so this is what we want, right? So yeah, so obviously this is not working, so we're gonna remove the test data test Omar. So if we run pack now, it's just says it failed, so we don't get an OK. So we want this OK, and we can format this better, but we have a script when it says OK, we're done for the day, right? And I have no idea how to do that, and probably we want something like baster, and then output, and then instead of the add here, we probably want a pack list, something like this. So this the old format was kind of historical, but you get what I mean. So I'm just gonna say, okay, git add the pack script and git add the test data, all the .txt's. Then we want the pack list, and we want it to the expected result, right? So and I'm just gonna maybe go one directory up and just say git commit created very basic test case for packer, right? And our whole rebase, and if you check it out now, you can run it on your system. And let me just check if okay, grabber still seems to be updating, and let's just go to the experiments. I don't want to set up, and we see the whole stuff there. It's all there. You can follow along if you want to. So this is a goal. The goal is to have this OMT packer. Nothing fancy, no libraries, no code splitting, just get it to work. Step one. I mean, it's also learning a new language, and we don't want to over-architect it now without really knowing where we're going. So this is step one. So what we want to do now is, I mean, this is not Rust learning. We will probably learn a lot of Rust, but this is not Rust 101. This is how to abuse it, make it work, and maybe learn something in the progress. And actually, if you're a Rust expert and know how to do stuff better, A, comment in the chat, or B, be free to send pull requests. But try to keep it kind of tiny and small, and explain the pull request the why. So I mean, don't rewrite the whole thing from scratch. That wouldn't be the point. So okay, let's go to this packer directory, and what we're actually going to do, we use cargo. So we say new packer, and it's going to be binary, right? So let me turn on the sidebar here. So we're in here, and it created the packer, and it created a cargo file. I'm going to make this a bit wider. Fine with me, Rust 2018, yeah, it's okay, and it created a source, so here's the main. So what we can just do is cargo run. Oh, obviously we have to go in the directory and just say cargo run. And it says hello world. So what it did do when we say cargo run is, it created a lot of files here, a lot of object files for compiling, and we don't really care about, but it created this target debug packer. So we can just rerun this and it will say hello world. So what we're going to do is, and I want to use a variable here. So packer is OMT packer in the long run, but for now it's gonna be exactly this. So it's gonna be, I just don't want to juggle passes and everything. I mean, we could just cargo run it all the time, but if you go back here now and just run pack, oh, obviously, my bad. So it's saying hello world, but obviously not really helping the cause. And but it's one step closer. So, but we are gonna go actually gonna go in here, and what we could do is say cargo run, and I guess it's dash dash, and then just say okay. Okay. I mean, obviously the pass here needs to be like, okay, one up, one up, and one up. I mean, obviously it's doing nothing with these, so that's step one, but basically we have the basic hello world running, and we want to do some command line parsing, and we could do the whole command line parsing here manually, but I'm kind of so one of the goals here. Oh, we closed that window. So reuse what is there. Don't reinvent the wheel. I mean, obviously, don't use libraries that have weird licenses or royalty fees. But if there's a basic Rust functionality that does what we need, then use that. And because I used Rust before, there you can go to crates RS or crates IO, and the crate is basically Rust module, a library that you can use. So I know there's a crate called Clap, and Clap has like 7 million downloads and over a million downloads in the last few weeks. So I'm gonna paste the Clap homepage. Oh, it's actually Clap RS. So and Clap is I'm gonna put it here. So this is the crate we use for command line parsing. We don't want to reinvent the wheel at all. So we want to use it. So let's do a quick. I'm going to open the documentation here on the other screen, and once I have the setup for the other one, it's going to be a bit easier. But basically, what we're going to do is here we have the dependencies, and we can just say clap equals and then I don't know what version is up to date. So crates.io says current version is 2330. So I'm gonna say I want roughly version 2.330, and a lot of the crate module handling has changed recently, and I'm not up to speed with this. But basically, this says, hey, use this crate, and you can see now it's updating, it's fetching it, and pulling in the dependency. And I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice again. And as you can see, the Clap developers also use some basic stuff. They're not reinventing the wheel themselves. It's just layers of useful functionality. And so we pulled it in, and nothing happened. I mean, we don't use it, so how do we use it? And again, usually documentation for Rust packages is super simple, and I'm not sure if this is needed anymore, and I'm a bit hesitant putting this in main, but let's. So we have an extend create clap, which basically says, hey, I want to use this. And then straight from the documentation, we have the clap scope, and we want to use arc app and maybe subcommand, not sure yet. It's just copied straight from. So how this works is we create a we bear with me. So this is OMT Packer. This is just we just create a new clap app because this app is now referencing this clap app, and the configuration is chainable. So we say, okay, version is, I don't know, 0.1. Author is Andreas, and then we put my email here. And not sure if this needs to be about pegs data into archive. And now it gets interesting. So this can have arguments, and arg can have with name. So we want to have this peg here, so we want to have a baster. So let's have an argument with name baster. Could argue about baster, and it could have a short form. I'd rather want it explicit. So if you put short here, we could say B is a short switch for so dash B would work here. But I kind of not a fan of. So the long version is baster, and the value name is baster, and the help and let me put this all together, and then you'll see. Sets the base directory for relative names, because yeah, it's and takes value. And you can read all the documentation, but basically it takes a value. I just want to get one done, and then we move on. And then basically when we're done with it changing, we just say get matches. So let's see if this complains. And okay, we're not using subcommands, so it's rightfully complaining at this moment. So, oh sir, I really should enable the Rust language server, which basically tells the editor, hey, you can kind of, whenever somebody's editing, you can constantly correct the code and verify the code. This laptop is just too slow for that, so for today I won't turn it on. So no method type long found. Hmm. Oh, you see what I did here? Obviously, this is part of the argument. So matching braces do matter. Okay, so it says, hey, you dumbo, you gave me an output parameter and I have no clue, but I found the base tier parameter, and for more info, use help. So we can just do cargo run dash dash help. Oh, and obviously we want our help, not cargo's help. So it gives us a standard formatted stuff, and yeah. So with a quick look at the packer here, and I'm just gonna make this smaller. Is it hot in here? So we have the output parameter and the packlist parameter, and let's. I'm just gonna lazily copy these. So 1, 2. So we have the output, output, output. Set the output file name, and then we have the pack file, pack file, pack file. Set the. It's kind of a bit much, but the nice thing is, look, oh, it's not pack file, it's pack file. If you go back up here, you can just do, okay. Oh, pack list, not pack file. I mean, yeah, usually you would have like 2 screens with this and stuff like this. Pack list, so. But you see, it's super simple, and it's doing all the verification, and if I run this now, okay, it parsed it, and it will do the whole, hey, baster needs a parameter. So what happens if I don't use it? And it says, hey, missing argument. So that's all there. I mean, we're not using anything with this, but so we can do a print line, and I forgot the syntax. Is it colon matches? I haven't done matches. I haven't done Rust in a while, so okay. So yeah, again, sorry, but this. So this is what it matched. And you see, so output has a value of Omar, base tier has a value of test data, and packlist has a value of packlist. So that's pretty cool. And I could just write my own code to extract it from here, but I'm just gonna steal from the documentation. And we're just gonna remove the hello world here. So let baster equal match it. No, matches, and I want the value of baster. And here's the point. We want to unrip this or have a default, and the default is basically the current directory. So if we do a print line baster here, now we just do baster, 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 and then we can just, you see, baster is test data, and if I actually omit baster, it will just use the default, which is kind of nice. I kind of want a colon here. So we just copy this for output, and the default is out.omar, and then we copy this again for pack list, and the default is just nothing. And for debugging, we just gonna, is this still, yeah. Sometimes when I focus, I kind of, this here is kind of starting to get a bit this year, bit annoying, so I'm not sure how long it will last. So now we know what we want to do. Let's use the other one. So now we have what we need, and you can do much more with clap, but basically this is what's good enough for me. I'm wondering if there's a needs to be mandatory, but yeah, it's good enough for now. Mm, yeah. So let's disable this because it gets a bit noisy. And if you go do git status now, we just say, okay, we didn't add the cargo toml. Git add, and then we do a git add source main, because basically we should have added that in the last step. And then we just say git commit added packer, added stop for packer with command line parsing. And I'm going to push this just in case somebody wants to follow along. I probably will push at the end of the streams from now on, but yesterday's coffee's still cold. So what do we do now? So basically we have multiple steps. We have iterate over pack list to 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 get list of files needed. And this is going to be this non-smart version, so it's just going to brute force, and then it's basically write header to output, and then it's write data to output. And I'm intentionally not encapsulating this right now. I'm just going straight forward. What's the minimum version? So, I mean, I have no clue how to iterate over a text file in Rust. So I do what everybody else do and says iterate over lines of text file in Rust. And so there's standard IO lines, which is on docrustlang.org. There's a standard IO lines, and it basically says an iterator over the lines of an instance of buff read. This struct is generally created by calling lines on a buff read. Please see documentation of lines for more details. So I'm just going to see the documentation of lines. And basically, I'm this is almost too easy. So we need a buff reader. I have no idea what a buff read is, so how do I get a buff read? How do I get a buff read? I mean, basically, I check the so buff read is a reader. Okay, and this is still kind of basic Rust documentation. So what they say is let packlist file equal file open, and it's gonna be packlist, and we just unwrap this here, and then we say let packlist buff reader, and that's it. It probably I'm being overly verbose with the names here, but that's basically, and this is not very Ruby-esque. So basically, this should open the file, and then we can say for line in packlist buff reader dot lines, and this is straight from the documentation. So I'm just gonna unwrap it. This is all, and I probably missed some. Okay, so file is undeclared, which is fine. Yeah, we want to use standard, and actually the documentation says that. So file system file, and we also want to use standard IO, and the doc says self and buff reader. There's probably reasons. I'm just going to blindly trust the documentation. And okay, I I would have thought so. So we don't need self. That sounded a bit like too much. And lines is obviously not found, so I wonder where lines is. Let me go to the lines. Should be in standard IO. So now it begins. So lines is defined in standard IO. I'm just gonna run this in the Rust playground real quick to see if it's still working. Okay, this works. So okay, let's create a function here that's called packer, and it will return is it bool in Rust? It will return a bool, so it's just gonna return true for the moment. And all this, it I I'll get there in a moment. So we just call packer and put all this stuff in here. And actually we want to return so we want to return a result, and can we do this? Is it? I have to. I haven't used Rust in such a long time. I mean, what do we want to return? A bool? Bool is kind of stupid, but and this will not work, I know. So because we don't have the pack list and obviously the result expected. So let's return a string, and I'm just gonna check our Rust result. It's been so long. We're learning a new language, kind of. Okay, so result can be okay or error. I have no idea what I'm doing. So yeah, okay. So how about we return a U32 for number of files added or a string, right? And then we just say error not implemented. Right? So why do we want a maybe? No, I did this before, so this should. Oh, is it? Do I want a static lifetime here? Yeah, okay, this semicolon was. I knew it when I typed it. Okay. Oh, obviously, this needs a semicolon. So all we need to do is pass in the parameters now. So what does a packer get? A packer gets the baster, and that's just we're just gonna borrow the string here. So start with a pack list. We just start with the one we really need and add the other stuff later. So, and it's a pack list. So this obviously needs the pack list, and it probably needs a reference to borrow it. So what the? Why can I not? Okay, we need the trade for the lines. And then we probably are back to the self we just removed because I'm pretty sure it is implemented. So standard IO and this obviously we're learning a new language while we go. I have to turn down the heating. It's like 28 degrees in here. It is 25 degrees in here. I don't know how that happened. Let's turn this down a bit. I mean, do we really want to? It's been a while. It's been a long, 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 long time. And this thing is, if we do this, we basically say unwrap this result and just go on or fail and magically pass this through. And what I don't want to do is like I could just say, okay, this is not a static string. This is, what was the type? The type was IO error. Right? We could just say, okay, hey, return an IO error here, and then obviously let's just cheat here and say okay 0. So this works, right? And you can even see it's giving us what we need. I don't want to leak the IO error from here outside, but I also don't want to do the full error handling now. So what we could do is probably, and this is probably not very idiomatic, but just say error could not open file, right? And just return that. Right? Um, what? Oh, and here we have to unwrap the thing then, and I'm not sure this is what I want to do. So what's the idiomatic way to handle file open problems in Rust? idiomatic way to handle file open in Rust. And this is error handling is the main thing is I don't want to pass up the error here. I really don't. So what's the way to do that? I mean, we could just say, okay, let's do it step by step. We could go and just match on this pack file, pack list file, and this probably just returns either okay. That's probably okay. We don't care about the parameter. Do something here. So we could just say, just for the sake of it, we can reassign the file and say, okay, P, in this case we just return P, and then the error case, and that's an error, we just return error, and when we error reading file, and we could do more here if we really wanted to. So we switch back to our old signature. And this is where auto-completion helps, so okay, my bad. Okay, and again, syntax highlighting helps. So I'm wondering why we don't need self here, even if the documentation says we do. Oh, so here we just return. So this works, right? So if we do test, what was the pack list? Pack list foo, which clearly doesn't exist. It does nothing. So we could just say, okay, match whatever the result is, and then, I mean, it's the same pattern as up here. So if it's okay, then we get the number of files, and then we just say print line files added to pack file, to archive, and we just say number of files. And in the other case, we get an error and say error, and then we just print line error this, right? So obviously, I switching back and forth between languages. Give me a week. So this is error reading file, and if I use the correct file here, it says 0 files. Obviously, we still have to implement that. So I'm not sure this is the best way to handle this, but for now, I actually don't care about the error handling. That's next step. Hmm. I hope you're still seeing me. My stream preview is frozen here. Oh, we're having technical problems, but this is I really want to kind of I'm gonna add a to-do here. Resync error handling. And actually, I'm gonna do a new file here and call it to do, and that says resync error handling in general. And this isn't if I was a real experienced Rust developer, I would know what's the standard way of doing that. But I'm not. So I want this actually. Let's put this at a very high level here. I mean, just I didn't want to close it. I wanted to just as a reminder list. So this here, and then also this here is kind of. I'm not happy with this. I mean, then this probably also has to do like, okay, this has to do return 0. It's all good, and this probably has to. I'm not even sure this will work. So return -1 error codes to be defined. Let's see. Expected nothing. Oh, can I return an int here? U32, I32. Oh, no, it's Rust doesn't return from main. It's Rust system exit code. It's all coming back. It's all slowly coming back. So by the end of it. So can I just do? Can I just do exit 0 here? And just exit. I'm not sure. Again, bear with me while I learn Rust with you. So what's the return result from yeah, wrong window. What's the return result from main? Reading documentation again. So what's a signature actually? Is there a system exit or? Yeah, I know. Sorry for that. I just want to. Okay, there's like a 5-year discussion on this. Rust system exit code. Rust main return code. Yeah, I'm a Rust noob. I'm a total Rust noob. So is it just that we use process exit instead, and then probably used it process? Is it just this? Okay, so echo dollar. So this returns 0, and if you have a bad file name here, it returns 255, so that's nice. Oh, going back to this thing here, it returns the correct exit code. I mean, we can falsify it here too. So if we do this, then okay, we're not even using the exit code here, which is fine. But this just works. So again, not exactly what I want, but close enough for now. Don't do everything at once. So we got a list of the files we want to add, and now we have to kind of dive a bit into so what we actually want to do is we want to have a list of these lines. So I have if I go into Matpack now, and you see there are multiple versions, so I'm gonna use this one, and this is basically okay. This is the wrapper. Oh, this broken cable is and basically it's doing the same here, and it says okay. We don't do the command line add anymore. This is historic, so it says for every line in the pack list file, which is basically what we just do. We say pack file add, and the pack file is actually in packfile.rb. So this is so, and then it just writes it at the end. So basically, we don't care how it does this here. There's some magic going on, but in the end, we want this. So let's see. How do we write binary data from Rust? I mean, we could just start to write the header and then do this iteration inside the loop, but I kind of want to prep the data, if you know what I mean. So I have no clear plan how we're gonna do this. I mean, so here's what we're gonna do. I mean, basically we have this entry class here, and I would say let's just replicate that. So how do I do a class in Rust? I mean, obviously there are no classes in Rust. I know that. So what we have in Rust is struct. So basically we have something like okay, a struct entry. Right. So if we just make this smaller, so an entry has a base pass, a file name, a CRC, and a size. And the CRC is actually the CRC of the name, because we load by CRC for historic reasons. But basically, why do I need the base? So the base pass is for the loading. So okay, we need the base pass. So we have a base pass type to be defined, and we have a file name type to be defined, and we have a CRC, which is more like CRC name. So it's the ID, but let's not get into this. And then we have the size, which probably is a U32. I mean, that's pretty straightforward. So this is a struct, and then we could implement stuff on that, right? So it's basically, you can say, okay, I don't know, implement display for no. So we implement entry and say we have a function that says display, and that gets basically self, which for the C programmers is the this pointer, and then we do print line displaying entry for and for file name, and just use the file name self dot file name here. So we could just create an so for example, let's actually do this here. So let entry equals entry. So we have an entry parameters, yeah, and then we just say entry dot display, right? Auto completion. So yeah, okay, yeah, my bad. And this is what kind of basically we have to decide now. Is this just a stir? This is probably U32, but obviously it's it's yeah. So this is part one, and part two is we have to initialize the fields here. So we could have an initializer, but basically we say base pass. Is it is it called base pass? It's actually called base pass. So we initialize that to nothing. The file name is actually initialized to line dot. I don't want to unwrap this again, so I say let file name equals line dot unwrap, and then do this. And then here I just use the file name, and here use the file name. And then for the time being, we initialize the CRC to 0 and the size to 0. Just step by step. So missing lifetime spec. Oh, okay. Strings versus strings versus strings. Actually, okay. Strings in Rust. So we have standard string in Rust, and we're using str. So, oh, okay. This is gonna be interesting. I mean, a string is a slice. So, wrong screen. So this here is a slice, which is basically a part of an array of U8. and it's a UTF-8 sequence. So and basically, I think what we actually might want is a real string here. And string is let me cheat, open standard string. Yeah, so string is standard string, so use std string. And I really want autocompletion here, but so that this should be better. Let's see. Probably we could do the conversion here. Yeah, it's just for dummy data, but I was trying to prove another point. So displaying entry for file name one. So we have our data structure here, and actually, yeah, the base name and the file name I kind of want, but the CRC is clearly created from the file name, as you can see. I'm running out of so let this sink in here moment while I grab a new coffee before I lose my voice. So yes, my Rust is definitely rusty, and I need to re-update my Rust knowledge. It's been, I don't know, 6 months since I touched it, and so kind of it starts to come back, but it switching language takes a moment. So I'm not sure I want to wrap this right now, but what I do want to do is and the thing is what I don't like is having the CRC here because it's implicit in the file name. And I mean, in theory, we don't even need to store it here. We can just lazy initialize it. But I'm not sure if I want to go into lazy initializers yet. So, in Rust struct constructor, it's probably not the right term, but yeah, I kind of I kind of I think we're not getting around that. We're gonna do a creator. We're gonna have a give me a second. So the thing is, we have this self here. So if we have a function that says function create, it creates an entry. and it gets the base pass, which probably is a str. We borrow a string here, and then it has a file name, and we borrow the string here, and then everything it just does itself by magic, and it will return an entry, right? So we could just do entry. I'm gonna be lazy. I'm gonna do entry, and this is just base pass, and this is file name, this is 0, and this is 0, and then we just return the entry here. So we could just say, okay, here we could say entry create and say, okay, base pass. So this, and file name is this, and yeah, don't care, right? Obviously, it's my bad, too fast. Wait, what? 920? In hacky. And yeah, this is just temp anyway, so I don't care. So this is doing the same, but we only have to pass in the needed values, and here we could say, okay, entry.crc equals 1, 2, 3, 4. This is probably not going to work because this needs to be mutable. Probably not. So we could even let's cheat here and just say self, and it's all basic types, so it should just can we, yeah, we can just derive debug on this struct. We're lazy. We just want this working, and then we make it nice. So entry is base pass is nothing. File name is this. CRC is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is cool. I mean, probably we want a new line here just for prettiness. So and then here we can put the actual calculate actual CRC. It's CRC name, and then get the actual file size, and that's probably what we're gonna do. But step 1, I want to get rid of this base pass stubs we have all over the place before they get out of hand. So the packer, I would just add the base pass, and I'm changing the signature here, so be careful. And probably we want to just borrow the string, but details. I mean, so here we just put the base dir, base pass. I mean, we can still change that. So the old was base pass, so let's stick with base pass. That means we have to change it here and here, realign a bit here, change it here, change it here, change it here. And yeah, we should have thought about that before that, but pass is probably the better word here. Not let's see. But this also means here we can just use the base pass instead of our broken. Where? Why? What? Yeah, okay. Maybe just make this string, this as well. I'm not sure at which level to do the toString. I mean, and I'm gonna put this into the to do in a second, so okay. Can I just borrow this here instead of moving it? What? Oh, okay. So here we want to borrow, and this we borrow too, and this here actually, where is the other error reading file? We don't use this right now, so let's get rid of that. 56. So this probably should also just borrow it. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, borrowing and so this is working now. So let's change this to base pass real quick, just for the sake of it. I'm getting hungry. So stumbling around in Rust just as in anticipated. So I mean, and probably we can just do it like this. Then we lose the mutability. We just do let CRC, let size, and then just do CRC and size. And there's a shorthand form, but I don't like that. And then we can just get rid of this. I mean, it's oh, so it's just the same. So let's assume this all works and ignore the fact that our CRC and our side. Let's stop this out and so what data container we want to use. So probably we just want to use a vector. So what we want here is let mutable files equal vector new, and we could specify, yeah, but and then we just do we want a vector? I mean, probably we just want to say, okay, files push, and just push the new entry there, and this should still, unless still work, and then we want to do later we want to do a for each. So uh, so basically down here somewhere. So we write the header and then we write the data. So we do a files dot iterate, and then uh, how do I do a for each and this is how you can start to learn the language. You don't need any basic. You just do it. So what we could just do is a for entry in files, and then do entry dot display. This will probably just work. So phase one, gather the data, and we're not even going to display here. Phase two, write it to the you know. So this up here is a reading phase, and this down here is a writing phase. And then just for this sake of it, let's put the output here too. So I'm kind of running out of juice, so this line is getting a bit long for my taste, so I'm gonna break it up. Output is a borrowed string, and it's not used, so this will complain, but yeah, it's not used. So here, right output. Oh, I wanted to do implement CRC name generation. So I at least want to have an output file that is broken. So remember, this can actually fail, this diff can fail. So that's the point where I absolutely want to get to today. And then I read up a bit, and we can let that sink in and continue from there next time. I don't want to take it in a break now and then move on. So write binary to file in Rust. And again, this needs some more wrapping, and basically we do a output file equals file create, and then we do this is output, and then we basically do exactly what we did here, including the output thingy, but basically output file, and yeah, the formatting error writing file. So this should have created the test data, no, test 1 to 2, and it did. So if we do a hex dump on this, and I like the canonical format, it's empty. It's size 0. So if we go one directory back and say pack here. Oh, wait. Oh, it should have been in test data. So our let's make this wider. So our output is in real quick. Yeah, so the output is an absolute pass, so and it's not relative to the base pass. So if we do this now, it says the files differ, which they obviously do. One is empty, and I mean we can just do, we could do hex dump side by side and then div them, but trust me, they differ. So let's go one step further. So we have the file here, so write the header, and this is basically just output file dot write all, and then we have, oh, I hope I get this right. So an array of U8. So if we just want to, let's cheat here, because we have the test data expected result, and let's write these here. So this is just the magic. How do I do hex in Rust? Can I just do OX? Looks like it. So this is write magic header. Let's see if this does what we expect. And I'm gonna do into our packet directory again and do the cargo thing. I thought, let's go to Rust doc and just search for write. I thought it was write all. The write, it's probably standard vector write all, or is it standard IO write all? So write all self, it's a trait. It's trait on standard IO write, and we don't have standard IO write in scope. Cannot. Oh, obviously we cannot for the input it worked, so we want this mutable, and that means we probably want this mutable too. Otherwise we cannot change it. So if we do a hex dump -c on, where did we put it? Here. Oh, we have the header. Nice. Keep going, keep going, keep going? Or can I have a dinner break first? Keep going. Oh, eating late again. Okay, so we could say, okay, we write this one, and you see we write it 2 here, which is kind of the version, and we could just do it like this. I mean, the other option is to, and I'm leaning towards this, is to do it more like this. So give me a second. And just say, okay, magic header 2, which is the version, which is probably more readable in the long run than this, right? I mean, result should be the same. Unused result. Oh, okay, this doesn't need to be mutable. I'm not sure why. Unused result that must be used. Yeah, we do need to do add error handling. I mean, might reach disk full or other stuff, but so this is writing the same thing, and then we just say, okay, write the flags. So we could just say flags, and probably don't even need the flags comment here, but say, okay, flags is a let flags, and just to be sure, I want to be sure equals 0. And then we have this or in the one if write file names. So I want to keep kind of the same pattern here and say, okay, flags equals or equals. Mm, so how do we do this? If write names, then do this. We might or in more flags, that's why, and I just gonna say let write names equals true. So currently we write the names. So the flags is 1, and the flags is, if you look here, it's this C here. So this is a version, this is a flags, and then we actually write 2 zeros. So it's 0, 0, and that's reserved. So that's the header. And then we write the number of entries, and I have no idea what V means in Ruby Pack, so I'm just gonna Google that real quickly. So Ruby Pack format. Yes, this is so long ago. I don't even have an idea. It's probably in core string. rubydoc.org is not answering, so which is not nice. Ruby.org is down. What's wrong there? I just want the documentation. So what does a V mean? Probably, I don't know, 30-bit little endian, or it's a bit annoying that the official Ruby documentation doesn't work. Ruby string pack. And it's a bit annoying that I didn't write the okay, so what I got a table here, and B means 32-bit little endian. So I'm wondering. I don't want to manually. So we have the number of files, right? We know that. I mean, why is it auto completing this? Where do we use this? Okay. The number of files is and we want to be sure it's a U32, just to be very explicit. The number of files is we have the files dot size, right? Is it count? Is it length? Mixing and matching. So Rust vec size. So it's not size, it's len. Number of elements, len. Len, who would have guessed? Could have be at least length. Okay, and this is a Waves magic hand, so this is telling me, hey, mm, mm. So how do I get the parts of this? Because what actually happens if I do output write all and I have no idea. I actually want the number of files as an array of U8, right? This is not going to work, but this is basically what I want. So Rust get U32 as slice of U8. Oh no. I just want to. I don't want to go through unsafe code to just get the bytes of the. Hmm. Can I just what happens if I just do this? Okay, this is not working. I don't want to do too much. We could create a trait that does like get this as this, and I don't want to copy it and I, I could manually do it, but this is so there's a crate that supposedly does that. Let's last updated 6 months ago, so Well, it has about 20,000 users. Let's check the documentation. It's called byte order. Can I write bytes? I can write bytes. Yeah, I'm just gonna give this a try. So byte order equals. I mean, we said we use what we can, so let's just, while we write the code, let the update run, and then in the main, basically we just use it. So we say, I'm not even sure if we need the extern crate here anymore. Use byte order, and this fixes the I hope it's little endian write bytes extension. I mean, this should do nothing. Okay, this works. So the pattern is output file write u32 as little endian. Just be very explicit, and then the number of files, and then we unwrap that. I mean, if that works, we just so we have our magic, we have our 2 for version, we have our 1 flag, we have our 2 reserved, and we have 4 bytes in little endian of, so a 4 in little endian. So I guess if we switch this to just for testing, maybe we want little endian, we know that, we just verified that. So big endian, it's writing the opposite, and let me just verify with the expected. Okay. So yeah, it's the same 4 here. So this is nice with the endianness fix, and again, they saved by a crate. So we're mixing and matching the writers here, but hmm. And then what's next? Then we write the directory, which is basically write out the file names. So out file write entry, and an entry is basically, it's this packed as little endian u32. So the CRC, the position, and the size, and the position. So this is basically write the directory, and we're nearing the point where we have to implement that stop, but we have the position, which is 0, which it just keeps track of by adding the sizes, and I want to kind of do the same, and we're gonna steal this here. We're gonna do it twice, once for the directory and once for the actual file, and then where's it writing? Oh, and then for the data. So yeah. Okay. So per file, we want to write CRC pause and size all as little endian, little endian U32. I mean, we know how to write a little endian U32, so and again, no error handling, so it's entry.crc. Then it's the current position, and I know this will be junk right now, and then it's the entry.size, and probably we could skip zero size, and then we say, okay, pause equals pause is plus entry.size, and I probably coded too much C. For entry in files. Can I just borrow this here? No, I want to borrow this here actually. How can I explicitly borrow here? Again, it's been a while. Yeah. So if we do the hex dump now on this one, you see all the sizes are wrong, and the CRC is let's put a fake size here. So let's say ABCD. DCBA, and then here we use 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, this is just gonna be garbage now, but so we see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we see the A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, C, D, B, A. So wait a moment. Wait a second. Oh, the position is kind of let's just say position is 1, 2. Just dummy data. Wait. Panicked to add with overflow on line 108. That's why it didn't write everything. And size is U32. But oh, it's this is too big. Okay, fine with me. I mean, handle your errors. Why is this? Can we just do a debug by print line? I know. So enter. Oh, yeah. This might be. Let's just put a. I don't know. 11 here. He's right. I mean, we had an overflow, so this is nice. And now we do the hex dump, and we get the header. We have 4 entries. This is a CRC. Then we have the position. The position. So this is a position. Size 11. We have the CRC. The next one starts at 11. Oh, the next one starts at 11, has a size of 11. We have the CRC. The next one starts at 22 hex. size of 11, and so on. So that this is almost kind of okay there. So all that is missing, I mean, obviously the CRC generation is missing, and arrow handling, but all we need to do is this now, and we already have the loop here. So how do we read a file in Rust? I mean, this is just straightforward, right? I mean, this is just we we just read to end. So we do a I'm getting tired of this pattern here, so we're gonna do it slightly different here. Let's data file and let's file name. Do we use file name somewhere? No. File open. And then we say, okay, if we get it, well, no, let's stick to the pattern. So when we have a data file, we say, okay, we want a buffer. I would like to have like an append from file, but let's not overkill it. And this is a vector of u8 that we're initializing here, and then we just say, okay, data file read to end. And I've used this before, so this means we have it in the buffer now. And then we can just say, okay, output file dot write all buffer. And arrow magic, arrow handling stuff. Let's just do a quick. Obviously, read to end needs. Where is read to end defined? Far too much documentation juggling right now. I should really get to the new laptop so you can see what I'm. But read to end. It's standard IO read. It's probably standard IO read. So standard IO read. Okay, fair enough. And we borrow the buffer here. No need to change ownership. Arrow of writing file. Okay, what's the file name? I mean, arrow of writing file, arrow reading data file. Arrow read. So what's the file name? So the file name is the base path plus the entry dot file name. I have no idea how string concatenation works in Rust. Probably just a macro or something. Can be just so. This is probably overkill. I don't want this. So basically we're saying, okay, take the first string, add a slash, take the second string, and then say base pass, and then entry.filename. We're just gonna dump this real quick. So probably oh, okay, shall we try the hex dump? So we have the 1122334444, and the file size is so. The output should have the test data here, my bad. So the sizes are identical, so we're getting really, really close. I mean, we could say, I want to quickly remove this because it's still in the wrong place, and do the put it into the test data. Actually, could argue if it should be there, but and then we can do a test data dot omar. So this is one file, and then we can do the test data expected result. And these if you ignore the fake size here and the fake CSC, this is nearly it. So I'm not gonna print this and blah, just hand wave away, clean this up. This was an experiment, how far we can go. So what we need to do now is do the size here. And how do we get the size of a file in Rust? It's probably standard file something, Rust get file size. We could load them all in memory and keep them, but they might be big, so we don't want to. Standard fs metadata. Uh, returns the file size of the file in bytes. Okay. So we know how to get the complete file name, which is this. So here we're gonna do this. I mean, this is, and it's not entry file name, it's just a file name. And then we just say let metadata file system metadata of file name, and just unwrap this. Unwrap or 0, just cheating here for the moment. I am gonna make this window wider again, just for, I'm not sure how this, okay. And actually we're gonna do the, we're just gonna do this, and then we let size equal metadata dot length. Okay, we have to use standard fs. Not a fan. Okay, we have to do the, let's file system metadata file name. We're gonna cheat here, but match, and I mean, it could be an okay, and in that case we get metadata, and then we return metadata.length. We get an error, which we ignore and just return 0. It's and then we just say let size again. Hand waving away all the error handling for the moment. Something like this. It's yeah, too many languages mixed and matched. Too many languages mixed and matched. Borrow of moved value. Where? Oh, I just no. Oh. Let's call this full file name here and use. We had some name overloading here. So shall we do the hex dump again? And this is the wrong one. So if I look at the file size here, so the last one is 4, that's a 4 4s. Then we have the 3 3s. Then we have the 2 2s, and then we have the 1 1. So if we ignore the CRC, if we do this again, so if we compare these two and ignore the CRCs, which are obviously wrong, then we're really, really close. So all we have to do is the actual CRC, and this is kind of a bit. So what we do is we downcase the name, so and then replace everything that's not a W with a space. I just kind of could have at least have been an. I mean, in this case, it doesn't matter, but for complex names, there's some name mangling going on, and I'm not sure the reasons were valid back then, but this is what we're stuck with. I mean, for the file names we have now, which is 1.txt, 2.txt, so even the dot will need to be mangled. So, step one, let downcase name equal. I don't know how to downcase a string in Rust. Rust string downcase. Standard string. Standard string. Says standard string to. Oh, there's a two lowercase. So this is basically file name to lower case. So that part was easy. And then we have a clean name, which is basically the downcase name. And now we want to do Rust string substitute all non-alpha numeric characters. And I know watching me Google would have been Yeah, I don't want the JavaScript version of that. I'm reading the standard string documentation right now to see clear drain from insert. Does there replace? Replace range? No. So basically I want kind of a transliterate. There's a make ASCII lowercase. Oh, it doesn't replace. Okay, that's kind of close to what we want. There's a replace. Replaces all matches of a pattern with another string. Almost. Almost. Would have been nice, right? Rust string replace list of characters with other characters. We could just probably do a map of. Oh, we could map the characters of a string to. We could use a regex. It's probably what we. So use regex, straight from the docs again, and then we have let regex be regex : new, and then to be defined. For now, let's just replace the T because we know we have two T's in there. Just for this is not the real one. Hack for testing. Always flag your hacks. And then we basically want to say, okay, regex replace all occurrences within the downcase name with what did we use? Space. Space has been such a smart idea back then. I want to kick my old self. And then we just print line file name to clean name. And I expect all the T's to be gone. Um, this is straight from the documentation. This is straight from the documentation. Wrong Rust version. Um, oh, this was a wrong Rust version. Regex is gone? Okay, that's a bit sad, but so we we could just do the map thing. I mean, it's so we have the chars, and then I'm not sure about the formatting here. We map every char in some way. So we just map every char to itself for now, and probably I want to match here. Yeah, this feels better. It's I did this before for one of the other tools, so basically say for every character match the character. If nothing matches, just match it to itself. I mean, yeah, okay. It needs it could be anything here, so fair. So it maps the names to themselves, which is yeah, okay, okay, okay. But what we want is so what does backslash W in the Ruby case mean? I mean, what we could say is okay, we want all lowercase letters up to including so A to Z we want to match to itself to C, and this we want to match to a space. And I'm just gonna do a hash here just for visibility. So everything that's not lowercase A to Z is a hash, and I think backslash W it probably matches numbers as well. So everything that's not 0 to including 9 match to C. So it's only fixing the dot now, and now I'm gonna check the Ruby documentation. Ruby, I'm not sure where I've been typing. Ruby G sub format. It's probably Ruby regex. That's how to. Oh, Ruby doc is still down, which is kind of a pity. Okay. Ruby regex format. I know where it is in the documentation, but I just want to know what W exactly includes. So anything. Okay. So uppercase W means anything that's not 0 to 9, A to Z uppercase and underscore. So in theory, we need to add this one here. But already down case, so we can ignore this, and then we say, okay, this is also C, so this should be fine. Obviously, we have the hash in there now, which we don't want. We actually want the space there. So if we do this here, We had a med pack somewhere here, right? Yeah, but it's so the dot. So oh, we have the dot is fine too. So this is how we mangle them here. So let's do the cargo again. So we get the same result now, which is one step closer, but we still want the kind of CRC. And this is just zlib CRC 32, and I'm pretty sure Rust can do a CRC 32 of string. Actually, I want to do bytes in string. So there's a CSC crate. So we have a CRC crate in Rust. Use CRC 32. And how is this used? Okay. I don't even know that there are 3 different CRC versions. So so here the canonical way is to do CRC 32 checksum IEEE Castagnoli or Koopman, and we can just, so if we say B 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, that will just let's move this here, and let's just see. Oh, it's actually a crate, so crates IO CRC 1 point CRC equals. I want to be very specific with the version numbers here just for the time being, so it found the crate. I hope you're using it correctly. Okay, and then obviously this needs to be the clean name, and this is probably not gonna work. Yeah, but we can. Is there as bytes? I've seen this number here before. Shall we just? Guess what? Okay, we have the flag here in the header because we didn't explicitly set it. But apart from that, so what we need to do, we need this. We have the right names. Well, let's go one directory up and say okay pack, and it says binary files differ. Well, which is fair. So if we set this to false and just cargo build, could just basically just build it, don't run it, and go back here and run the pack now. Okay. Not clean, not pretty, not, but working. So I'm gonna do something. So I'm copying this packer target debug um, packer into my bin directory and say omt packer. And I'm gonna take a quick restroom break while you think about what I might be doing now. Yes. What will happen? Okay, let's go to Fiiish. I have the OMT packer, and yeah, okay. So let's steer this, but then patch it. So obviously not gonna work. So the base pass is remember our pack script here where we started from. So the base pass is data. The output is yeah. Let's not be super app data base OMT base OMR, and the pack list is basically data pack list. Yeah, so where we started from, and yeah, this is 0, but now we have a where did we put it? Okay, app data omt base.omr, and actually let's app data base.omr. They have the same size, so let's do. They differ. They do differ. So now it's gonna get ugly. But let's. Okay, I'm gonna do something different here. I'm gonna lay out to 2 columns, and then open the original one here. And it's quite big because there's all out. But the size is already right, which is super cool. And this probably was too much for. I mean, I'm gonna kill Sublime now, but so this looks good in the beginning. I mean, even down here, it still looks very similar. So let's go Oh, lots of zeros here. Let's go all the way to the end. Oh, all the way. So where do they differ? So let's do. I'm working in my app directory. Don't do this at home. So I'm gonna do a hexdem -c for the original base file to base omar dot dash hex. Come on, this is just gonna take an hour. You're still dumping? How big is this file? Okay, it is 2 megabytes, so base omar hex. And I'm gonna do the same for the OMT. I have to make the my screen is too small, sorry. And I'm gonna close this one here and do the OMT hex here and just close this. I mean, can we just diff the left side is original and right side is the, wait, what? So the, oh, uh, let's do a white diff here and pipe this through less. So somewhere here there's a difference. I mean, after that it's the same again, but why is C is different? And then so this is in the names, right? This is the CRCs. So I wonder if our CRC generator algorithm is kind of we're gonna do something. Oh wait, we have our pack script here and our pack file here. Can you read this? Yeah, it's not perfect, but sorry about we're gonna make this yeah. So we're gonna output the file, the name. That's view layout. I have the feeling that our CSC is not yet perfect and we missed something, so I'm gonna output it for all of them. Oh, look, here's the, it actually does output the CRC already, so let's undo this and just run the pack again. Okay, the pack is smart, so we just run the, well, Ruby tools mat pack with this parameters. And yeah, these are actually the names we want, so let's prefix this with CRC colon, just in the beginning of the line, so we can, I want a space here so we can do a grep CRC. Okay. So this is ruby-crc. So cat ruby-crc, and then we're gonna tweak this to output the same format. So it's mm, we almost have it. It's just so it's crc space of the file name space dash name crc colon crc, right? So let's just go into Packer, cargo build, still good, and then just copy the OMT Packer, and then I'm gonna do the OMT dash Packer here again, and that, then do the grab crc, and that is the Rust crc, right? So we go back here. Actually, we're just gonna diff white Ruby CRC with Rust CRC. All of them are different. Oh, this one's quoted here, and this one is not. I'm gonna fix this one here because it's closer to where we are. So I'm just gonna add quotes around the file name here. Wait a second. I want it edited trying to be helpful and failing. So let's do the Ruby CRC thing. And so some of them are different. Okay, so apparently a dash is not removed. And also if I look down here, percent is not removed. Which is a bit weird because we checked the documentation, but so a dash is fine too. And a percent is also fine. I wonder. I need to check the alphanumerical thingy again, so we do the CD packer and cargo build and CD dash dash and this. So I just want one line in the. So let's do the Rust again. And you see how fast the Rust version is. So there's still. Wait. Didn't we just say dash is fine? So it doesn't replace this dash down here. Did we just scroll too far up and I scrolled to the last version? Yeah, I did. So all of them. So if I do the app data and do the diff here, the other diff, the other diff. Okay. They're the same. And want to know one thing I just realized? So watch this. We have the Ruby version, this one here. And we're just gonna be fair and say ampersand 2 to, oh, so this is a Ruby version. And if we time this, it takes, yeah, it only is 0.2 seconds. And now we do the, and we're not gonna do this. So we time this, and you see this? I mean, it's grab real. And then we do the, it's and it's not even real time, it's the user time. It's blazing. It's blazing. And so what now, I'm gonna be very, very daring. Yes, I will overwrite the base Omar. And it's too noisy, so if I go to Xcode now, and let's say iPhone 8 Plus, iPhone 8, and I don't have an emulator running, and build. We're using the Rust build data archive now, just because we can. And I didn't expect to get there. While it's building, I promised. I know. I will. Oh, Santa. Shall we just? I want to run it. I want to run this. I mean, it was just the Packer, so the Packer probably was the easiest one, and it was just a proof of concept. But we were struggling with setting up the base and everything. So it's loading the simulator. It's gonna be a moment, but this is making me happy. Nice, nice. I mean, the Rust version is not much worse than the Ruby version we had, and it's a standalone binary. So, and we weren't even fair. So, give me a second. Let's check this first. But I wish you could hear this. Ka-ching. Upside down again. Oops. But it's working. It's just working. Everything is working. Nice. Let's stop this. So we we weren't even fair because we were doing cargo build, right? How about doing a release build? How about, and we're not even doing link time optimization, so this was nearly there, nearly there. Yeah, this would have been faster on the end. And clap is actually, it's now doing optimization on the parameter parsing, and it's pre-compiling the regex at compile time instead of runtime. So now we used to copy this. So we copy packer. So we copy target release packer to bin omt packer. and just rerun this again, right? And it's okay. This was not fair. Now let's do a. Now this is a small project. Imagine you have. This is a small project with like 2 megabytes of data. Is it 2 or 20? So this is 32 megabytes of data, which is nothing. But we got the time down from 0.8 seconds or 0.2 seconds to this is a factor of 30. It's 30 times faster. So this makes me mm, so git commit implemented first hacked version of data packer, and the write names flag is not supported yet, but there's some things I want to do with the structure for reasons, and we're probably going to do this next time. I mean, it's been 3 hours. Is it 3 hours? Oh, it's been 3 hours, including the little glitch at the beginning. So I'm gonna commit this. I hope nobody pushed. Well, nobody could. And then you know where it is on Git. You can use it for your own project where if you want to. We're gonna implement the loader library as well. It's kind of okay. Focus, focus. Um, we definitely did more than starting our Rust journey. So next time, clean up the packer a bit. Yeah, we will. I mean, I had fun. This hat is far too hot already. I'm happy that I haven't been wearing it all the stream. So we got where we wanted to. I'm about the schedule. I'm not fully sure. Maybe I do a little bit tomorrow morning. Maybe I don't. It's let's see. Um, I'll be gone on Monday, and unless the hotel has super good Wi-Fi and I actually decide to take my laptop, I'm not even sure about that. I'm flying back late on Tuesday, so maybe do a stream on Thursday. But my schedule the next few weeks is a bit rough again with traveling. So see you when I see you. I'll definitely let you know through the usual channels. I think that's lights out, Christmas lights out, and stream out.